Hey everyone, this is Adam, and today I'm going to be showing you a quick tutorial on how to export your HTML email designs from Figma to the Bento email marketing platform using the Emailify Figma plugin. So to get started, all we need to do is go to our Figma file, click on the little resources icon in the toolbar, and then you just want to search for Emailify. So that's Emailify. And under the plugins tab, you just want to click on the Emailify item, and then you can either run the plugin by clicking on this little run button here, or I'd recommend clicking on the save icon, which will allow you to save the plugin to your plugins list for easy access later. So I've already clicked on the save icon here. So I'm just going to go to my Figma canvas, just right click anywhere, go down to plugins, then go down to saved plugins and click on Emailify. And that's just going to run the plugin we saved a second ago. So if you're new to the plugin, the way that it works is it basically helps you to design HTML emails and then help you export those to production ready code with one click. So for example, we can just spin up a new frame by putting in a template name here, or you can browse the existing templates that come with the plugin and clone one of those into your Figma file. So we'll be having a look at one of those in a moment, but just as a really quick overview to get started, you can just create a new Emailify frame, and that will allow you to start adding components and layers down here, which you can then customize to your own brand and drop in all of your own content and things like that. So yeah, it's a really quick way of building out an email, and you can use these components and these tools down here to design emails within a few minutes and get those spun up as reusable components. So again, you can customize this however you like. Just to do a nicer example today, I'm just going to grab one of the templates that we just looked at and spin up the plugin in this Figma file. And then we're going to preview that and upload it to Bento. So you can preview the emails in Figma just by clicking on the little preview button in the plugin. And that's going to spin up a real HTML preview inside of Figma. So you can see what it's going to look like on desktop and on mobile. So you can see exactly what that's going to do. You can also view those at the same time. So if you want to have a look at both of those next to each other, you can do that. And you can do things like override the content. So if you wanted to add mobile overrides, for example, you could basically do that for any of these layers. And you can see here it's updating the font size on mobile, but leaving it on desktop. So again, I'm not going to be going through all of the design features in detail today. If you're new to the plugin and you want to learn more about how the design works and how the plugin works for designing emails, please check out some of the other YouTube tutorials on the channel. But for today, I'm just going to assume that you've already got your design the way you want, and you just now want to export it into the Bento email platform. So we're going to do that now. And before we do that, the last thing we need to do is just add a Bento footer. So if you go to the footers tab in the plugin, and you can see down here under the letter B, we've got a Bento email footer. So if we click on that, that's just going to add a new component or new row to our template here. And of course, you can customize that design however you like. But the important thing is that these unsubscribe and view in browser links are pre-populated. So if we click on those link layers and check out the tag, so we can see the clickable URL is set to the Bento unsubscribe link. So this is a special Bento tag, and same for the view in browser link. These are pre-populated. So you need that to be able to send out the email. If it doesn't have an unsubscribe link like this, it's going to add its own. So you want to make sure you add your own so you can customize the design to be something that you like. So now that we've got that set up and we've previewed the email and we're happy with it, all we need to do is go to the Export HTML button in the plugin here and click on that. And then we're just going to change this option here where it says HTML email, which is the default export option that will download zip to your computer without any extra settings. You want to go down to the platform integrations and find Bento. So we can see Bento down here. So just go ahead and click on that option that says Bento. And then you can put in your subject line. So you can do subject line and pre-header text. So you can add in your pre-header text, which is what shows up after the subject line in your email client. So you can add that pre-header text there. And then you just want to add the white space toggle if you want to add any extra space after the preview text so that the body content doesn't show up. So you can have that on or off. I always prefer to have it on, so I'm just going to leave that on and then click on Export for Bento. And that's going to automatically generate all of the HTML code, upload all of the images automatically, and it's going to give us a nice zip file that we can now download. So once that finishes exporting, you can just go ahead and click on the download your zip file button and then click on save. And once that gets saved to your desktop, you can basically just open up that folder And you can see here we've got this Emailify template folder, which is matching the Figma frame name. And what we want to do is open up that template folder and find the index.html file. So now that we've got that file, what we want to do is drag that into the browser. So we can just drag and drop that straight into there. And you can see our HTML has been exported as we'd expect. And then all we need to do is go to the broadcast page in the Bento platform. So you can get there just by going to the emails section on the left here, clicking on broadcasts. And then what you want to do is just click on the create broadcast button in the top right here. So I'm going to click on create broadcast. And once that loads up, you just want to give this a name. So I'm just going to call this test email, and you can fill in all the details of who you want to send it to and things like that. Today, I'm just going to leave that all empty and then click on save and continue. And once you finish clicking on save and continue, you'll get this screen that says, how do you want to build your email? And we want to go down to the bottom right here and click on code mode. So this is going to let us paste our code into their code editor. So just go ahead and click on the code mode tile. And that's going to load up a code editor here that's empty. So what we want to do is we want to go to our HTML file that we just opened in our folder in the exported zip. So this index.html file, just open that up in your browser, right click anywhere, go down to view page source. Then you just want to select all of that and copy it to your clipboard, and then go back to Bento, just delete anything that's in the HTML editor and paste that in. So you can see all of the code's been pasted in. This is the full HTML export from Emailify. And what we want to do is just click on Save Changes. And then what you can do is either preview that in here. So you can just click on the Preview tab, and that's going to load up the preview of the HTML that we just pasted in. So that's looking really good. And importantly, you can see that the unsubscribe and view in browser links are valid. So you can see in the bottom left in the browser window, those are kind of getting pre-populated, and it's recognizing that that is a valid tag. So that's all looking really good. So all we need to do now is either we can send a preview to ourselves. So if you want to do that, you can. Otherwise, you can just click on Leave Editor, and that's going to basically just show you what the email looks like and have it ready to send. So you'll notice that there's no subject line in here, and that's because we need to add that manually again. So you can see in our export settings, we added subject line here, and that's basically populating the title tag. So for example, if somebody clicked on the view in browser link, the title tab tag up here, which you can see subject line here, will be populated by whatever's in the Emailify input down here. But you'll still just need to copy that directly into the Bento platform as well. So you just paste that in there. But you do not have to set the preview text if you've already set it in Emailify. If you haven't, then feel free to paste it into Bento. But if you've already set it in Emailify, setting it in Bento will just basically duplicate it. So you either want to use one or the other. So I'll leave that up to you. Anyway, so that's basically it. Once you've got that pasted in, this is now ready to review, and you can now send that out as a custom HTML email, completely ready to be sent out as a custom template from the Bento email marketing service. So yeah, if you're using the Bento, bentonow.com is the domain. If you're using the Bento service to send out your email broadcasts and you've been wondering how to get a custom HTML email designed with your brand and content into the platform to send out, this is a really easy way to go about it if you're already using Figma and you want to spin up an email really quick and then export that code automatically to be uploaded into the Bento platform. So yeah, I'll leave it there for today. I just wanted to keep that really simple, and hopefully that helps your workflow if you're a Figma and Bento user. So again, thank you as always for watching, and we'll be back with more Figma tutorials like this one very soon.